I really need a gun in my house because I'm in downtown Chicago. There's sketchy people around me. My name is McDonald, and I think that I should be allowed to have a gun in my house due to self-defense and my right to the Second Amendment.
The main issue of this case was that it wasn't clear if the Second Amendment applied to the states, which is a technical issue called incorporation.
During the 20th century, there was a process of selective incorporation, where the Supreme Court of the United States began to incorporate the guarantees of the Bill of Rights to apply to state and local laws. There was a question of if the Second Amendment will be incorporated. However, it wasn't until 2010 and didn't apply to state and local laws until after the McDonald case.
The first step in this case was when the court made a decision in the District of Columbia versus Heller, stating that the gun ban violated the Second Amendment. Step 2, Chicago and Oak Park began to ban guns. Step number 3, several suits were filed against Chicago and Oak Park challenging their gun bans. Step 4, plaintiffs argued that the Second Amendment should apply to the states. Step 5, district court dismissed the suits. Step 6, U.S. Court of Appeals for the 7th Circuit affirmed on appeal. Step 7, Supreme Court reversed the 7th Circuit, holding that the 14th Amendment makes the Second Amendment right to bear arms applicable to the states. The last step in this case was that the courts sided with McDonald in a 5-4 ruling.
The majority's rationale is that Alito believes that putting a ban on guns for self-defense violates the Second Amendment rights and is applicable in the states. He believes the 14th Amendment incorporates the Second Amendment. The minority's rationale was that Clarence Thomas agreed that the 14th Amendment does not incorporate the Second Amendment. However, he disagreed that the Due Process Clause was the correct mechanism. John Paul Stevens disagreed that the 14th Amendment incorporates the Second Amendment against the states. He argued that owning a personal firearm was not a liberty interest protected by the Due Process Clause. Stephen Breyer, joined by Sonia Sotomayor and Ruth Bader Ginsburg, argued that there is nothing in the Second Amendment's text history or underlying rationale that characterizes it as a fundamental right warranting incorporations through the 14th Amendment.
The impact of this case is I can have a gun in my house. In every state and local.